Hi guys, it's Hella from Dawn Emporium, and finally done Hanukkah write-up. So this is part 1 of Hanukkah, and this is the story behind the festival. So usual disclaimer, I'm going to say everything wrong. I am. I'm at home with that now. So Hanukkah commemorates the historical events that took place in Jerusalem in the 2nd century BCE. Here's a killer word. The Seleucid Greek Empire ruled the area at the time. In 168 BCE, King Antiochus IV Epiphanes outlawed Judaism, its practices and culture in favour of the Greek Hellenistic culture. So pretty much what Jews have been fighting since day dot. Somebody wants to wipe them out. Going so far as to defile the Jewish temple in Jerusalem by installing an altar to Zeus, Olympios, and sacrificing pigs there, which is a really low blow. Sorry if you can hear weird plastic sounds in the background. My dog Odin is, well, both of my dogs like cat food. So when the cat gets fed, they get packets. And because it's like gravy stuff, they lick out the insides. They like rip the packet open, lick out the insides, and we just take the packets off them. Waste not, want not. My cat doesn't like tinned food. Yeah, we're that family. Now, as we're all pretty used to, when somebody tries to wipe out the Jews revolt against it, as pretty much we all would. And the guys who really revolted, like hellfire style against the Greeks, were called the Maccabees. Now, they were only a small army. Now, when you think of a small army these days, you think of maybe 100,000 people. 100,000 people back then was an entire country. So we're talking more like 150, 300 people. If you were lucky, 300 people could be the standing army of an entire country. It's normally just farmers fighting. So I can't actually find out any true historical records as to what happened during this fight, war, whatever, because it was so long ago. Sometimes you can find verifiable facts. The winner writes history that you can kind of chase down, and they'll have other people's stories throughout history. These things seem to have been lost. So if you're lucky, you'll get one person's viewpoint and nobody else's. But what we do know is this small army of Maccabees managed to regain control of the temple, removed all the effigies of Zeus, built a new altar, so free of pig's blood, majorly important, because none of the Abrahamic should go near pigs. They could start offering sacrifices to their God again. Now, sacrifices, everybody when it comes to sacrifices seems to think of sacrificing small children. Sacrifices could be a little bit of wheat, some cloth, you know, some jewellery, not the blood of thine firstborn. So I would like to point that out, because no doubt when I'm doing these over the years, there's going to be a lot of mention of sacrifices. So here's where the oil miracle that started all of this off comes in. A legend in the Talmud, which is a book of 3rd to 6th century teachings. This is what I mean. You can't get verifiable facts if they're 4 to 8 centuries later. the Maccabees, who repatriated the temple, found that the Greeks had ruined all the oil supplies. They'd like smashed bottles of it, mixed it with water, things like that. And this oil supply was needed to keep the temple's menorah burning, which is, menorah means candelabra, and a candelabra is like a candlestick for more than one candle. Only back then they used oil instead of candles. Odin! Sorry. After much searching, someone managed to find a single bottle of oil that would only last the menorah one day. So they decided to light the menorah, even though they knew that it would take 8 days to purify more oil to light the menorah again after this one day. And this bottle, they knew it was fine. It was full of oil, sealed, waxed and pressed with the ring of a former Greek oppression high priest. So they knew it was the good stuff. But this menorah then, that was full of 1 day's worth of oil, stayed lit for 8 consecutive days while the Jews in the area pressed and purified the oil so that the menorah could then get fresh oil. So it stayed alight, which is like they lit it so that God knew that they were there and they had repatriated their temple, and then God kept the menorah alight to let them know that, you know, thank you, I'm watching over you. But that's the miracle. It's a two-way street. So, yes, that is the veritable miracle that started off Hanukkah, and that is why Hanukkah is 8 days long, and that is why the menorah that you have for Hanukkah has 8 candles that you light over 8 nights, and the last candle, the shamash, is the candle that is used to light the candles in turn. We'll get onto that later in video 2. So, we're at the end of the story. The Greeks took over the area, defiled the temple. The Jews, well, technically the Maccabees, a specific people within the Jews, well, not people, family, I don't even know if they're a family, a people, a sect, whatever, but they managed to get the temple back off the Greeks. Everything was ruined. They rebuilt the altar. They could only find 1 pot of oil, and the oil lasted 8 days, not 1. And then we have Hanukkah. Oh, and it's a time of feasting, and the feast should be food that's cooked in oil, preferably olive oil, because that's what the menorah was lit with. So there you go. That is the story of Hanukkah. And sorry for me losing my head with Odin, but honestly, if that boy could play in a brass band, he would. I love having animals, I honestly do. I do. We're lucky to have them. Oh, I do love having him, but he's so loud. But if you want to take a picture with him, he disappears. Right, I'll see you for part 2. Whenever you want to watch it. But for me, in about 5 minutes. Have fun, know your power. Bye.